Hi, welcome again to my kitchen and to more conversations about our immigrant ancestors. Those people who came from other lands to establish this one. And yes, I admit it covers everybody except the Native American. I don't like the word Indian, but you know what I'm talking about. One of the cultures that fascinates me the most, certainly one of the most wonderful food cultures, are the peoples that came from Korea. Now, when I was younger, we were in the midst of the Korean War. I really didn't understand what was happening. So let me give you a quick lesson on Korea. This is a very ancient culture. They go back a good 2,000 years. It's called the land of the morning calm because it's filled with mountains. If you stand in the middle of Korea, no matter which direction you look, you see mountains. It's an incredibly beautiful place. No, I haven't been there. Yes, I will go soon. I want to meet some more of the people. It's a very distinct race and culture, these Koreans. They came from a tribe called the Tungus tribe in prehistoric times. And they've been there, well, forever. They're very homogeneous. That is to say, there are no minority groups in Korea, except about 30,000 Chinese. Everybody else is from a same and common bloodline, and they speak one language, and it's pure. Fascinating people. They have one of the highest literacy rates in the world. 98% of them can read and write. I don't think America can come close to that. The largest city is Seoul, Korea, and it is the 9th largest city in the world. The 9th largest, almost 10 million people, and you can see where the Koreans live. Between Japan and China, you see how it is? This is the place where the Great Treaty was signed, because in 1876, the Japanese made a treaty with the Koreans for trade, the sake of trade. I think it was their downfall, because the Japanese, let's be honest, began to take advantage of the Koreans. Advantage, nothing. They stormed in there and killed the Queen of Korea and then put in troops, so that for years, Korea was occupied by Japanese forces. Now, when the Second World War came and we were at war with Japan, well, you know, Japan was defeated. And when the war was over, the Western forces simply divided Korea with the Eastern forces. That is to say, North Korea was given to the Soviet government and South Korea was given to the Americans in terms of governing possibility. Just like we did with Berlin and Germany. You see? So, a great battle went on in 1950 between the Northern Chinese, who were under Soviet rule, and Koreans, and the Southern Koreans, who were in the hands of the Americans. The battle went on, the UN came in, everybody fought everybody. That's what happened. It was simply divided over the 38th parallel, and the North and the South have been, well, they're still squabbling. I don't know what's going to happen. In any case, in 1950, things changed, and immigrants began coming to this country, and they're wonderful, wonderful people. They work hard, they're well-educated, fabulous people. Following the war, nobody had come here since the beginning of the 1900s, not from Korea. A few had gone to Hawaii, and they were farm workers. But following the war, many refugees and orphans and war brides. Remember, the only good thing to come from war is the fact that we have cooks that come from all over the world. Isn't that a horrible thing to say? This is my own home, Tacoma, Washington. And the flag is in the middle of a great shopping center near the largest military base in the Western world, Fort Lewis and McChord. And the Koreans have, eventually brought in their uncles and aunts and all, and we have a wonderful Korean community there. You can eat very, very well. This is a Korean market. Handsome Korean people. Enormous Korean market, and Craig and I were looking for products with which to make pickles. Thank goodness the melting pot never worked. Thank goodness, because here we can taste cultures. We're looking for what size? What size? This is a kimchi pot. You've heard all about it, all about kimchi. It's wonderful stuff. So we've chosen a kimchi pot. Now we need some pepper. The red pepper that is common in Korean diet. There. Oh, that'll do them. Craig says that's going to make more kimchi than we want, Smith. Well, perhaps, Cook, but you do it anyhow. And we need a bag of salt, and we're ready to begin pickling. Now, the largest community that we have in the United States of Korean people is in Los Angeles. And this is the HK supermarket in Los Angeles. What do Koreans eat? Well, first of all, rice is very common in their diet. Peppers, radishes, lots of pickles, and they're fond of beef. Now, the first courses, look at this place. It goes on for half a block. The first courses are pickled dried fish and radishes and relishes and vegetables and sweet fish cake. Wonderful product, and you can buy these in the carton, or of course, if you want to make them by yourself. I'll show you how to do some today. But that's typical of the meal. Look at these. I was very taken by the whole collection, and I wanted to taste some, well, they looked to me like they were baby clams, but I knew they had a very fascinating Korean title. So I asked the boss, his name is Carl Pak, the manager. I asked him after I dished up, see these? They look little clams. I knew they had some fancy Korean name, so I asked him, I said, sir, what are they?
What do you call it? Baby clams. Baby clams?
Baby clams. I thought the name would be more involved than that. Now, the diet here, oh, they're good. The diet here consists of all of these pickles, and here's the biggest and the most popular pickle, gallon jugs of kimchi, that is to say, napa, pickled in pepper and a tiny bit of vinegar and lots of salt. You buy 1,000 different brands, and of course you need lots of pepper. The pepper in this particular market in LA is not sold in bags like I bought mine in Tacoma, but in big bins. They have about 15 different varieties. No, I should call them strengths.
You're a very handsome man.
Isn't he beautiful?
What is your name?
Now watch him drop his candy.
Hi, Dominican.
Oh, he was so
We'll get you another one. We'll get you another one.
Isn't he gorgeous? Now come with me to Chicago. My favorite restaurant in Chicago for Korean food is Chun Soo Chang. And this is Mrs. Ki Suk Kim cutting ribs. Now that's a wide rib, and you notice she splits it down the center, and then she's going to pound it out. Why would you use the rib? Well, the beef spare rib is a little bit fatty and very rich. She rubs it with sesame oil. Isn't she gorgeous? I'm so fond of her. Rubs it with sesame oil, and then into a soy sauce, barbecue sauce, and then finally onto her gorgeous barbecue grill. And she doesn't mess around with the griddle like I'm going to show you. She has a big gas grill. Aren't they gorgeous? Can you smell that? Garlic, sesame oil, wonderful things. Now, Yubi, her daughter, Yubi Suk Hong, is serving a dish that I had just never seen. This is a pancake, and they call it a bean cake. It took me a lot of research to figure this out, but it's a bean cake made from mung beans. Those are the beans that we use for growing bean sprouts. Very common in the Korean diet. This is the thing that blows me away. I don't know of any other culture in the world that puts out so many first courses. Look at them. All kinds of pickles, and you see the egg. Oh, he's going to try. This is Jim Paddleford, my business manager. He's going to try the egg and seaweed roll first. What do you think, Jim? I'm going to try the ribs here. Oh, no, the ribs are coming later. Here come the ribs. The pickles are beautiful. Now, these are the Colby ribs that she cooked in the kitchen. And the chop chai, a big plate of noodles that are just delicious. I'm going to try the beef. What are you going to have, Craig?
Please, go right ahead.
My cook says, no, I'm not going to eat that thing on television. I'm going to have some noodles. Well, it is a little complicated. Come on, Smith. But it's delicious. And here she is.
It's so good.
Mrs. Ki Suk Kim.
It's so good.
Lovely woman. And finally, a bulgogi dish. Bulgogi means that you marinate the meats in a bit of a pepper sauce rather than a soy barbecue sauce, and it's cooked at the table, either in a pan or sometimes on a gas burner. That's it. Oh, that's wonderful food. Just simply superb food. And the Koreans really have not been recognized in this culture, I think, for the contributions they've made in terms of their very ancient culture and their wonderful food products. Oh, I can eat this stuff night and day, and I'm going to get started with you right now. Wonderful Korean cuisine. No, don't back off. No, they do not eat unusual things. The things that you've heard about the Koreans are all wrong. They're very gentle but firm people, well-educated, very disciplined, and they work like mad. They make very good Americans. First of all, I want to make a mung bean pancake for you. I know the name shuts you off, but It's great stuff. Mung beans, let me see if I can find some for you. Here are the food products from Korea. The food products I want to talk to you about. Look at the peppers. They love peppers. Big peppers. And these radishes, these big daikon. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at the size of that rascal. It's not terribly sharp, but it has a wonderful peppery flavor. Here are the mung beans. The green ones you recognize because you buy these to make bean sprouts. At least I hope you do. But these are shelled mung beans. And you soak about 2 cups of these overnight. Mung beans without the shell. Soak them in water overnight and then drain them. And you'll have something like this. I don't know how far we're going to get with this today because this food is so interesting, but it takes the time. You know, ancient cultures have always spent a lot of time cooking. So you have to understand that there are no quick dishes here. Now, I have 2 cups of mung beans soaked in water overnight, and then I've drained them so that they're not all soggy. We're going to grind them up now. Mung beans. I'm putting these in a food processor. That should do me. All right. Then we're going to add about 1.5 cups of water. Water, as Ken Ham would say. There. That's a funny story I've got to tell you sometime. The BBC told my friend Ken Ham, who teaches Chinese cooking in Britain, that he had to pronounce things very clearly, so he started saying water. I didn't know what water was. But in England, that's how I have to say it. All right. I've scraped down the sides of the bowl using a rubber spatula or your finger, and then continue to grind them up till you have a very coarse paste. That's great. All right, that'll do me. Now, the beans, ground up, go into a bowl, and in my wok, I have prepared, I've already chowed some vegetables and some pork, and this will go into the dish as well. Let me just describe, what is the wok full of goodies? Here it is. I want to just describe this to you, because it's a very unusual dish. You've never seen anything like it. In this pan, I have some oil and garlic, naturally, and some ginger, and about 1/2 pound of pork that I've julienned, and I've chowed that. Then I added a little bit of salt, and finally some leeks, and then about 1/2 cup of green beans. Can you see them? Can you see the green beans? See them? Just a little bit, just sliced very thin. The leeks you can see. All right. You mix all of that up. Let me get a pan going here right away. You mix all of that up, and then you pan fry it in a bit of peanut oil. It's going to take some time to cook. These cakes take, I don't know, I suppose about 10 minutes to cook. You do them one at a time, very slowly. I know. You can't figure out what this... First time I saw it on the menu and it said bean cake, I thought they meant tofu, or daofu, soybean curd. Nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. When my pan gets hot, we'll be ready. Let me go on to another dish here. I have a ladle, so I'll remember to put that in the pan for you. If I confuse you today, so what's new? Somebody complained the other day that I talk too much about the culture and I don't cook enough. Well, wait a minute. The point behind this series is to help you understand that the best way you can possibly understand another culture is to eat with them. Once you begin to understand their food, you begin to understand how they think. I'm convinced you can even understand how they walk and how they work and how they view art if you understand the food. So we do food. That's what this show is for, and that's what we're going to continue to do. All right. There we are. Now I want to add I think I need a little bit of soy sauce to this, and a bit of crushed garlic, just a tad. You can put this in when you put it in the food grinder too. About 2 cloves of garlic and a shot of soy sauce. I'm using kikkoman, the Japanese influence, I suppose. Just a shot of kikkoman, and mix that all up. It's wonderful stuff. You can put in some ginger if you like, and a little bit of salt. I think my pan is hot enough. I want to put about 8 ounces of this cake. See what I have here? About 8 ounces of this cake right into an oiled pan and just sort of smear it around. Now, this is a Silverstone-lined pan. There's no reason why you shouldn't use contemporary gadgets to turn you into a good Korean cook. I see no reason in the world why you shouldn't do that. Now, let that cook until it's good and brown. And what you come up with, you'll want to turn it. What you come up with is a cake. I've cut mine already, you see. And I put it on wax paper like they do at my restaurant, you see. And these are served warm. Oh, they're good for a first course. This is an appetizer. and his bean cake. It's just terrific stuff. All right, now, broiled beef ribs are very, very popular in Korea. The Koreans love beef. They eat more beef than they do pork, I think. Here's a sauce. It's just so simple. I'm just going to tell you about it, and I'll get some ribs and show you what we can do. There are two kinds of ribs. Well, there's one kind of rib, two kinds of cuts. You see, the one that you saw my friend cutting in the restaurant was a big, fat, short rib. You see this? And it's just one rib. And what she did was to cut it. Now watch this. It'll open up. See, you cut it down this way and then open it this way. You see? And then this surface is pounded severely until it's nice and thin. Then it's marinated and put on the grill. That's all there is to it. Now the marinade, that's the secret. The marinade is made of soy. I've got the recipe here for you. Kikkoman, a little bit of sake, a few slices of ginger. Here, everything's right in the pot. You can take a look at it. A few slices of ginger, a little bit of garlic, and a couple tablespoons of sugar so that, let me taste this, make sure it's sweet enough. Now, you know what we've done? Craig, my cook, and I decided that we couldn't find fresh pear juice. It's very hard to find in the American market, and that's one of the things that the Koreans like in this sauce. So what we've done is to substitute concentrated apple juice. I'm from Washington State. I'm an apple man, remember? So we put in about 3/4 of a cup of concentrated apple juice right out of the can. A little bit of sesame oil. Simmer that for a time, about 10 minutes or so. Mix that with your meat. There we go. Now, I'm using regular ribs just right from the butcher, you see. Short ribs. Beef short ribs. Let me show you what you get. They're very delicious. Very delicious. Let's check my pancake here first. See, it's beginning to brown on the edges. Not quite ready to turn, but the ribs are finished, and I've cooked the ribs on a grill. This is a product from Le Cuisine. I just love this outfit. It's a heavy steel grill, and rather than put them on the barbecue, because I'm doing this in the middle of the winter, see, I've put them on the stove in the kitchen. Now, you must have a good kitchen fan. I had the fire department call me twice today, asking me why my fire alarm kept going off, and I just smiled and I said, fellows, don't you love firemen? Don't you love them? Put their life on the line for you, and they never get authoritarian about it. Well, anyhow, the firemen are coming by for ribs later on. It'll work out. This is what the ribs will look like if you use plain short ribs from your market. See, they're a little thicker, so they see a little bit thicker. That's about 1/3 of an inch, I think. But they're delicious. That's just wonderful food. I can't tell you. All right, what's next? I've got to really roll here, and it doesn't matter. Oh, this is it. See, Craig, will you give me the seasoned beef? This is fabulous. I've never had such a dish. This is the Korean version. Thanks, friend. This is the Korean version of what I would call, in this culture, a steak tartare. Now, I have in my bowl about 1/2 pound of flank steak or sirloin. You see, look at the bowl. It's icy. I've kept it in the refrigerator. This is not quite frozen, but oh boy, it's so close. I can't believe it. Now, into that, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of our barbecue sauce, the very one that we used just a minute ago, but it's cold. 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. You can buy this in a bottle, you know. Korean barbecue sauce is big business. Here's a good label. You can buy this sort of thing in any Korean market and use it for the ribs or for this dish. 2 tablespoons now into the ice cold, crackly cold, chopped beef, but I've used flank steak or good sirloin. Please don't use anything cheap. And then we need to add some sesame oil. Just about a teaspoon of sesame oil. That's enough. And some toasted sesame seeds. The sesame seeds, see, they're over here in one of the major condiments of China. The sesame seeds are of Korea rather, very important. I know, I should apologize right now because Koreans are insulted if you say, gee, your culture must be just like China. That's what those of us in the West think. Not at all. They're their own people for 2,000 years. They were influenced by China, but they've also had great influence on the rest of the world. Don't forget that. I need a garlic clove. Where's my garlic press? Well, I don't see one, so I'll just use this. I misplaced my garlic press. I'm going to use chopped up garlic then. I like it chopped a little bit finer than this. But just about 1 large garlic clove, and mix that up. Let me see what I can use here. Good spoon. Don't put your hands in it because you want to serve, see, it's almost frozen. You want to serve this ice cold. Ice cold beef, and they simply call it seasoned raw beef. Oh, it's good. It's just terrific. Oops, come on, get back in the pan. There. Now, I'll put that on a small platter, and I think we'll be ready. I don't garnish. I don't do a thing to this. Maybe a little spinach leaf would be all right, but you just eat this with chopsticks and a little bowl of rice on the side, and you've got a wonderful, wonderful, well, a wonderful meal, really. I bet I burned this baby. Let me take a look at it. I bet I burned this rascal. Don't turn off your set now. I think I can smell it. I was so busy talking. He's just too brown. See? Oh, Smith, how can you preach so long when there's cooking to do? It's a shame. It's just a shame. Should we answer the age-old question? Should you have people in your kitchen when you're cooking? Absolutely. But build a counter like I have so that they have to sit in one edge of the kitchen and they can't interrupt you very much, you see? Give them a glass of sherry and just tell them to sit tight. Just tell them to sit tight. Now, here's the beef I told you about, the beef that we've just done. Seasoned beef is wonderful. Now we've got to really roll. I have a dish called kimchi, famous kimchi. Good heavens. I've got 2 crocks. I have to smell them, see which one is done and which... Whew! That's not so strong. All right, let's look. Here's kimchi. Now, kimchi consists of chopsticks. Kimchi consists of napa cabbage. This is napa kimchi. This is napa. You've seen this in the market. All right? Chop it up. And it's mixed with peppers, carrots, garlic. Oh, that's heavenly stuff. Now, that makes a major course. If I can find some here. Here it is. That makes a major course for your meal. You serve this along with rice. Let me show you something else. You can chow a bit of pork. Craig, I'm going to need some help. We're coming down the home stretch here. Chow some pork in your wok. Well, I don't know whether we're going to finish this or not today. I don't really care, but I want you to see the dish in any case. Craig, why don't you chow this for me, will you? Okay. And then add some onion. And then eventually you want to add some, Craig. Craig is my cook. Yes, he helps. And of course I have help, for heaven's sakes. Chow that for me, then add some green onions and then a fistful of kimchi, and we'll have it set. Another thing that you would have on your table, yes, we're getting there, all right. Another thing that you'd have on your table would be a whole series of wonderful tidbits. I don't know what else to call them. They're not just first courses. I've got all kinds of them. Here's one. If you make an egg roll on a frying pan, you see what I've done? 3 eggs, 3 tablespoons of water, and I've fried it on the skillet with a little bit of oil, then you've rolled it up with seaweed. You can make something like this. This is just delicious. And it's called seaweed and egg roll. Ha, ha, ha. How are we so quick? What are you laughing about? That's all right. And here's one. This is made from daikon. Remember, daikon is this great big radish, and it's pickled with pepper again and garlic. And this is, look at the size of the radish. This is the one that you chop up to make a daikon. Look at that. This will feed a family of 4 for 20 minutes because they really like pickles. All right, then, watch this one. Oop, I better get a chop chai out here. I bet I'm not going to have time for this. But we're going to try. Chop chai is a noodle dish that is made from a yam noodle. And the yam noodle, see, is a very, well, it's gelatinous a bit, but the Koreans love this. It's not the soy noodle that we know, nor is it the noodle made from mung bean sprouts. But here's chop chai, common, the great Korean meal. Oh, I have so many other things. Then we can try, I'll just put them out. Spinach and soybean sprouts become a wonderful, wonderful pickle. Spinach in this one, and soybean in this one. Isn't that beautiful? And you can also use the peppers, the gorgeous hot peppers. This one is fried with beef, and this one is stuffed. This one is stuffed and then pan-fried in egg. There you have it. How are we doing?
I think about another minute. But
you got some some napa in there already?
Yeah, kimchi.
Okay.
Kimchi.
Listen, I'm tickled to see that there was still some pickled daikon left.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite, though.
What is it? Go ahead.
This is a special crock.
Okay.
Chinese water-sealed crock. You can see there's water around this rim right here.
Yes, okay. Go ahead.
You lift the lid up. And there's a shredded daikon pickle, my favorite.
This is the same recipe, basically, as the other one, isn't it?
Yes.
But look, oh, it's thin. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? I'm surprised there's anything left in the crock, Craig. I think we're very lucky. All right, the pickle possibilities in Korea are endless. No, they don't live on pickles. But it is true that during the wintertime, a hot pickle will keep you warm and wonderful. And the pepper, you see, will help you survive in a cold culture. Let's see, okay. Let me put this one out. This is the pork and napa cabbage pickle as kimchi. Finally, on my burner, as we close today, I'm going to put some bulgogi. You can make bulgogi with a pepper sauce from pork or beef. You can have a great time with Korean cooking. This is the Frugal Gourmet. Till I see you again, I bid you peace. Bye-bye.